All right, B1 family. It's Jay Dizzle. I don't have too much time for small talk, so let's just get it. So, about a week ago or so, this clown, agent, coon, sex predator, scam artist, keyboard warrior, that goes by the name of Taharka Bey, was going in on, or should I say, disrespecting and undermining, delegitimizing this group called Sisters of the Underground. Now, Sisters of the Underground is about it's a group of some sisters that do good work in the community, which I'm going to highlight a little bit later. But it was just disturbing how he was just so into undermining and disrespecting these sisters for no reason. Like, you've never heard anyone say anything negative about them. Their organization is about rescuing women who are domestic violence victims, sex trafficking victims, intervening with gang retaliation victims, wraparound services, just doing things that are better in the community. Now, somebody who went to school for social work and has a degree in such, when I got out of school, this is the type of work that I did, not like what they're doing, but drug alcohol counseling, mentoring, youth advocacy, et cetera, et cetera. Those are the fields and the things that I did for years. So I understand how challenging it is and the work that it takes, the dedication that it takes, the selflessness, yeah, there we go, that it takes to do this kind of work. And I also understand how in some cases, especially when you're working for or with or have your own small grassroots organization, I understand how difficult and challenging it could be to operate when you really don't have the monetary means that you need in some cases. It's a challenge. I also know what it feels like to be attacked by those who look like you. Because when I was doing some of this work, I was being attacked by some, people within the city government, et cetera, et cetera. So I understand, these type of challenges. So my heart goes out to these sisters that after all the hard work that they're putting in, have to deal with cats like this attacking them. So I'm just going to go through a little bit of this video, what he was saying, this and that, because he always said that if you find him in error or expose him as a liar, he'll shut it down. Now, we know that's not the case. However, we're just going to, show you, because we have to highlight the dangers of having people like this in the community and have a proper response to that. And unfortunately, it's going to take some of the bullshit. Now, he's scheduled to get his jaw wired a little bit later next month, if he keeps his word, because he did agree to a fight, a one-on-one with Prince Naji. Now, I have a feeling sometime tonight he's probably going to find a way to weasel out of that. But we'll get to that in a minute. But let's go ahead and get to some of this bullshit.
But guess what? Taharka Bey beat up women. Bing.
That's true. That is absolutely true. As a matter of fact, we got some examples of that. Let me see. We already seen this one on the last show I did, right? This is where he was beating up on his son. And his son's mother had to get a restraining order, right? We went through that. He put his knee on he was choking out his son. He was basically the same way George Floyd went out is what he was doing to his son, along with dragging him and kicking him and punching him and yelling and calling him a faggot, blah, blah, blah. But let me see. This is another one, though. He just said he beats women, right? Well, he's not lying. That's really no cap. Let's go to this right here. Let's do it. Now, this is a whole different woman than the one that I showed you if you watched the video that I did. What was that, yesterday? I think it was. So the respondent has threatened me by saying that he will hurt me if we aren't together and if I be with someone else. So he's basically forcing women to be with him. So in other words, he's victimizing women and holding them against their will. So now it kind of makes sense why he would attack Sisters of the Underground when you see what they do, which I'll show you in a minute. So, let's start all over. The respondent has threatened me by saying that he will hurt me if we aren't together and if I be with someone else. He has came in my home through the window because I wouldn't let him in the house. He tried to take my son from me by threatening to go to my mother's house. He verbally and mentally abuses my children and myself by cursing at me, threatening me and shoving me in front of them, and by telling them he will hurt me if I get a new friend. I feel like he is a danger to all of us because he sneaks around my house and tried to kick my door in, and I know he has a criminal record. This is a actual protection order request. Here's some of the things that he's done. Check this out. Choked me, punched me, and put bruises on my arm from grabbing. Punched and choked. This is Taharka Bey, right? So yeah, when he said that, he beats women power, yeah, he wasn't lying. Let's continue though, bro. Go ahead, tell us what
Look
else
at it.
right?
He was 13 when he beat her up.
Yeah, see, that's cap. Of course, we know he wasn't 13, but this is like just understand that how these cats play this game with wordplay. He's implying that it's just a long time ago. This wasn't a long time ago. This was like within like 10 years that these things were happening. This is like when he was still a grown ass man. He's almost 50 now, so that means he was 40ish during this time. This isn't like he wasn't old enough to be mature and mentally developed or something like that. No, this is like around the same time he was calling himself a Moor and about to start this show where he has all this upright standard of morality about him. Yeah, this is what he was about, as you can see. But go ahead.
They would do all this madness. I mean, make up madness stories. So when I'm telling you, just prove me wrong. Just prove me wrong. Can't we get along if you just prove me wrong? You know the best thing that you could do? You know the best thing that you could do to a Moorish World TV? If you wanted to shut Taharka Bey up and shut Moorish World TV down, making up stuff about my character, making up about stuff that was 20 or 15 years ago is not going to do it. Show me where I'm lying on you. That would shut me down overnight. If you're a Moorish American and I said something, show me where I'm lying on you. If you are Pan-African, if you are Black Power, and I said something and it's not true, show me and then show the people and say, listen, this guy is the fraud. This is the...
Let's try that. I'm pretty sure it won't work, but let's try it anyway. So you just seen that stuff. You seen this is the stuff I showed yesterday for those who didn't see it, right? This is him beating up on his son. We'll just go through it. Go ahead. 10/31/14. So this is less than 10 years ago. Okay? So this isn't like 15, 20. This is less than 10 years ago. My son and I were on the telephone, and he was upset because there was a change. Because there was a change to him coming to my house for the weekend. He calmed down and asked to speak to his sister, who I put on the phone too while she was. So in other words, he was supposed to be going with his mother. He was with his dad, Taharka. He's supposed to go with his mother. He was mad because he really wanted to get away the fuck away from his dad. So I passed the phone and she said she was talking to him. I could hear yelling, and I asked her if it was Keenan. She said no, it was Tito, his dad's nickname. I told her to give me the phone, and I could hear his dad yelling at him about being late for an appointment. This exchange continued for about a minute, and I heard Keenan yell, "I don't care anymore. You're not listening to me." And at this point, the phone sounded like it dropped, and I could hear Toronto saying, "You fucking punk, you think you're hard. Shut the fuck up." This is him talking to his son. But I don't hear Keenan. I'm yelling in the phone, and I hear Toronto saying, "You fucking faggot, sit the fuck down," and then the phone hung up. I called back. Now, so this dude, this was, like I said, less than 10 years ago, 2014. It's 2022, so that's 8 years ago. So, I mean, he's like 48-ish. He's almost 50, so let's say he's 48, 49. That means he was still over 40 when this was happening. So this ain't like some old, long time when he was 13 type of thing like he's trying to cap. This is like recent stuff, right? This is him. This is his character. He said, prove where he's in error, prove how he's a fraud. This is how he's a fraud. Because all the smoke he has for everyone else, but this is him. See, the smoke that he has for everyone else doesn't even amount to this type of behavior right here. Well, let me continue. He said, give me my fucking phone. Okay, hold up. And then the phone hung up. I called back and the phone is answered, and then I hear Toronto saying, give me my fucking phone, and hung up. I continued to call the house. and cell phone, and got an answer about 5 minutes later. And I yell, "Why did you beat him like that?" Toronto says, "I just grabbed him up." Of course, minimizing. This is what he does. After going back and forth, he tells me that Keenan ran out of the house and his apartment, or excuse me, and cut his GPS bracelet off. So his son was on house arrest. He would rather cut the bracelet off and risk going to jail than to be caught by his dad, basically, because he was more afraid of his dad abusing him, not disciplining, but abusing him, than going to jail. So this occurred at about 3:30 p.m. At 9:30 p.m., Keenan walks into my house in tears and just grabs me and says, "I can't take him hitting me anymore, and don't make me go back there." Now look, when I was an adolescent or whatnot, not when I was an adolescent, I would say when I was younger, then both my parents, they were with the shits with physical discipline, spanking, ass whoopings. Once I got to a certain age, that was off the table. Because at that point, you just have to fight or it's abuse, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like, I never felt like the ass whoopings I received weren't deserved or went too far. I didn't. Never felt like that. Because I wasn't abused. I was disciplined, and some people don't agree with that type of discipline, but I was disciplined with a belt by my father and anything in reach for my mother, right? It was just like that. But I never felt like I was abused, though, to where I would run away and say, "I can't take this shit." Because it wasn't out of hand like what you're going to see here. So I calm him down and ask him what happened. He said that while he was on the phone with my daughter, him and his dad were fussing, and he yelled. He stated that his dad dragged him from the bed onto the floor, so basically just grabbed him and pulled him onto the floor, and placed his knee into his throat. Like, this is like police brutality type of shit. This is that just this is how George Floyd died type of shit. He said that he began trying to push his dad off him because he couldn't breathe and felt like he was about to pass out. So you have to keep your knee on somebody's throat for a while before you would actually pass out. It takes a couple minutes of no blood or no air circulating to your brain before you would pass out. So, you know what I'm saying? He says that he was able to say, "You're hurting me. I can't breathe." And his dad shoved his knee really hard in his chest and got up. So basically, he used his son's chest as a footstool to get up off the ground. Keenan said that this was when he ran from the house and had used scissors in his room to cut the monitor off of his ankle and placed it in a shoe so he didn't because he didn't want to be found and returned to his dad. He ran to a friend's house to give him to give who gave him money to catch the bus to my house. I am extremely concerned about my son's mental well-being. There has been issues in the past about his dad's method of discipline, or what he calls discipline, and Keenan said before that if this happened again, he would run away. There has been cases of domestic violence with me and his dad in the past. While talking to him yesterday and this morning, he has been very angry and derogatory, and I don't want him contacting me or my son. We have an older child in common as well. So this is this dude right here. So he makes light of it. He minimizes it, but this is him. This is the same dude who will tell people they're frauds who are actually doing tangible work in the community while he doesn't do anything but sit on the internet. This is the kind of stuff this dude was doing, but he'll disrespect Malik Zulu Shabazz, who has over 30 years of service in our community. He'll disrespect Pansock and AJ and everyone else who's doing good work in the community, but this is what he has done in the community. This kind of stuff he has done. This is him right here. Let's get back to this real quick. I mean, it's just fair to you know what I'm saying? Let's look at this. This is him, right? This is the case number. If you think I'm making this up, you can pull it up. I know few of you will, but a couple you should at least. And when you look at this particular document, you can see right here where it asks registered or lifetime sex offender, there is a Y. Y's and N's all over this thing. We know what a Y and we know what an N stands for. And in this case, there's a Y. Registered or lifetime sex offender, it is a Y. And it's not like he didn't know about it because he signed this. Okay? Sex offender, beater of women and children. So it's gonna become real clear why, in this video we're about to get into, he has such a problem with Sisters of the Underground because they rescue people from guys like him.
Here, because he said this and that's not true. This is the fraud, and we need to stop supporting this fraud. That's all you have to do. Why ain't nobody did that yet? Why ain't nobody?
We've been doing that though. As y'all know, we've been doing that.
Take one of my presentations and pick it apart and show lie for lie for lie for lie. Why? Why they took pictures of my mama on Facebook and was like, look at this mom. So in 2017, they created this demonstration, right? When FBI agents couldn't break and prison black women activists, they tried to flip them into informants. And this is an article from 2017 that is really making sense today. But in this article, it's
so what it sounds like he's trying to do is he's trying to lay down the framework for why Sisters of the Underground might be agents.
talking about the things of yesterday. And so I'll read just a little bit. Such was the experience of lifelong radical activist Audrey Moore fighting movement. One of the things that I find that everybody notable, something that's for me, a notable. They would name themselves after a notable.
Yeah, he has to take that, he has to take that sip of kombucha because he knows he's fully on cap mode right now because his name is Taharka, a name of notice, a Kemetic pharaoh. He's using their name, but then his name, but he's going to try to undermine Sister Shakur for using, like, this is what we do. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. You know what I'm saying? When we're doing some of this work and we want to make different monikers or different, names that we go by that represent attributes of our character or reinforce the celebration of an ancestor or a notable, that's what we do. It's not something new. He's trying to make it seem like that's agent behavior, even though he does it. That's why he had to pause. Let's keep it a buck. Let's break this down.
And act as if they don't have another name. And this is why, this is one that stands out too. This is a common thing. They would name themselves after a notable, something that's familiar. You feel what I'm saying? And this is why I always play that thing, Taharka Bey, Toronto Johnson, because I don't care if you know me. Who cares? I don't care if you know that name, my other name. You know what I'm saying? They always do that. And as Cryptonomics say, Angela Davis was an opt herself. And you can look that up yourself. But they...
Wow. You know what I'm saying? You notice how, like, he can't respect anybody. Any of our freedom fighters, any of our laborers for justice and liberation, he can't give any props to none of them. No organization exists in his eyes across this whole 50 states that are worthy of celebration. The only thing worthy of tapping into apparently is his channel. Because everyone else in the black community ain't shit, according to the narrative presented on his channel.
They always do that, and they always seem to reveal more and more as you turn back the pages. So the Shakur obviously connects to Sister Assata Shakur. You know what I'm saying? Obviously. But we have another one that has done it real well. We know him as, where did he get his name from? Because he wasn't born Malik Zulu Shabazz. Where did he get his name from? Anybody know? He was born Paris. Where did he get his name from? Anybody know? He's never been in the Nation of Islam.
He said that if we prove him lying, that he's gonna shut down his show, right? Okay. So obviously Malik Zula Shabazz got the name from Malcolm X. Obviously. Why does he use the name Shabazz? The name Shabazz is exclusive to the Nation of Islam. Was he ever in the Nation of Islam? That's a good question. I wonder if any videos exist of him doing security detail for the Minister Louis Farrakhan. It would not be hard to spot because Malik Zula Shabazz is a pretty tall individual. And I distinctly remember watching speeches of Louis Farrakhan with Malik Zulu Shabazz in the background doing security. I'm pretty sure anyone can find that on YouTube somewhere.
To carry the term Shabazz. He's never been in the Nation of Islam. No minister gave him the name Shabazz. He don't even believe in the Nation of Islam doctrine of the big head scientist named Shabazz. He don't even believe in that because Shabazz is the tribe of Shabazz.
Shabazz was not the name of the big head character. That was Yaqub.
The tribe of Shabazz is a quote unquote all black tribe. You follow me? This story is only unique to the Nation of Islam. He's not even a member. He's never been a member of the Nation of Islam. And he changed his name from Paris to Malik Shabazz. But why is that? You know what I mean? But why is that?
Why is that? Maybe because he was in the Nation of Islam. Idiot.
And this just what it is. Listen.
Listen. I can't even really take too much of this because it really makes me physically sick to watch these slick snakes slither on their disinformation campaign. Another word for disinformation is counterintelligence, by the way. He's literally running counterintelligence on his program. Rat World TV is literally a counterintelligence program. See what I did there? That's what it is. Counterintelligence program? Yes, that is what it is. It's a program of counterintelligence. Disruption, discrediting, misinformation campaign.
He doesn't have anything but yelling rhetoric.
This dude is an attorney, a doctor, a 30-year veteran plus, 30 years plus veteran of freedom fighting in our community. Countless of things that he's responsible for or spearheaded. Countless. Like I said before, you really think that we don't have things going on in our communities if you're not tapped in. But there's incredible people and organizations in every single city across the United States of America, headed by our people doing great work. But if you listen to Fox News, some of these mainstream media, or some of these clowns and coons like Taharka Bey, keyboard warrior, counterintelligence program, Willie Lynch sponsored, then you wouldn't know that. Or if you're not tapped in, you wouldn't know that. But we out here, though.
And chasing ambulances on his record. And you know that. And chasing cases where someone been brutalized.
Now, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Regardless of what he thinks about Malik Zula Shabazz, New Black Panther Party, Fred Hampton Gun Club, PANSOC, Sisters of the Underground, or any other organizations that's operating, or any other individuals that's doing work and labor for our people, regardless of what he feels, he hasn't proven any of them to be counterfeit. It's all conjecture. And he hasn't produced one iota of a resume that can compare to them. In fact, remember, this is his resume. This is his resume. This is his resume right here. This is imagine a sex offender going against the grain and going against people who have years of serving our community. The audacity. The audacity. So you want to know why people want to touch him? You want to know why people have pulled up to his home? Because he asked them to, because he said he had to smoke. You know what I'm saying? Sister Muhammad. He ran from a girl. He ran from a woman, excuse me. A woman that could have faded him. See, he didn't mind beating up on these women, right? Holding them captive, beating on the children, doing whatever put him on the sex offense registry. But he ran from Crystal Muhammad and numerous other fades, and I'm pretty sure he's going to run from another fade today when he goes live. He's going to make some excuse not to honor his word. What was his word? Let's go back to that. Let's go back to that.
Let me explain something to you. Prince Najee, this will be the deal. I'll bring my squad. He'll bring his squad. We'll go into a room. We'll shut the door, and whoever walk out, walk out.
That sounds good to me.
That's the only deal I would do.
It's called catch a fade. Sound good to me.
Yeah, that's the only deal I would do. And I'm not going to do this with 150 people because I got work to do. But since Prince Najee, he will be the representative. So don't give me no more offers. He will be the representative.
That sounds good.
You bring his people. I bring my people. We go into a door. We shut the door. And whoever walk out, walk out. It don't have to be on social media. No social media, no cameras, no nothing. Whoever walk out, walk out.
Sound good.
Like I told you, when he starts taking that sip like that, you know it's cap, right? So you wonder why people want to catch up with him and give him that fade that he just clearly agreed to, or not just agreed to, he set the parameters and the conditions of it. So we're going to see if he's going to honor that. Because like he said, you know, if you could find him lying, he's going to shut down the show. But that's a lie in itself, right? Let's skip around a little bit.
Please do bring it to our attention. So this is a website right here, right? We do not allow opaque clients and or editors try to be careful about weeding out false, misleading content. As a user, if you see something we missed, please do bring it to our attention. So this is a website right here, right? This is a website right here where you can try to put news article in rotations like the AP. You know what I'm saying? As the Associated Press. This is a website that does this. And so Malik Zulu Shabazz, he champions this website to promote his agenda. And now here's the story right here. Sisters of the Underground host sex trafficking, missing person, domestic violence workshop. Let me see if I can blow this up just a little bit more. Just so you...
I just want y'all to pay attention, though. Pay attention how he, in a very calculated way, will undermine these sisters. Now, remember what they're about, right? They're about rescuing domestic violence victims, right? Rescuing domestic violence victims. Let's go back to this. The respondent, speaking of Taharka Bey, has threatened me by saying that he will hurt me if we aren't together. That means basically holding someone hostage, and mentally and probably physically, and if I be with someone else. He has came in my house through the window because I wouldn't let him in. So he's breaking and entering into this woman's house. He tried to take my son, that's kidnapping, by threatening to go to my mother's house. So now he'll even involve the mother in the shenanigans. He verbally and mentally abuses my children and myself by cursing at me, threatening me, and shoving me in front of them. And by telling them he will hurt me if I get a new friend. He told the children that he would hurt their mom if she moved on, because she didn't want to continue to be abused like the last one. I feel like he's a danger to all of us because he sneaks around my house and tried to kick the door in, and I know he has a criminal record. This is this dude right here. Registered sex offender, beats women, beats children, mad at an organization that rescues such women and children from people like him.
See it right. So It says Dallas, Texas, USA, October 26th. Sisters of the Underground will conduct a very important informative workshop, sex trafficking, missing person, and domestic violence, Saturday, October 30th, 2021. Now, some people may get dewy-eyed because they're promoting to discuss sex trafficking, missing person, domestic violence. I'm telling you, this is how the heartstrings get tugged. Now, if it's official, that's fine. But if it's not, then we need to examine this. So, and looking at this, it says Sisters of the Underground is a full crisis response network for Black communities.
Do you see what he's doing here, though? I know y'all ain't stupid. I know y'all ain't slow. You see what he's doing. He's undermining, questioning, making it an issue if it's true or not. Saying that if it's true, then it's all fine. But he's not approaching it like it's probably true. He's approaching it like it's probably just cap. Because he can't, really conceive the idea that people would dedicate themselves to doing such good in the community. Not only that, it's a conflict of interest because subconsciously he knows the kind of people that they're rescuing women and children from are like him. So that's a conflict of interest within himself because he has been that person who women and children had to be rescued from or taken from. And I've personally been on missions where we had to pull people out of the home for being abusive. I've been on a couple missions like that, and they're not easy missions. They're highly volatile, and they can go bad very, very quickly and get very dangerous. And mentally, it's just not it's not an easy thing to do on any level. I've even had to pull people who I know, and this isn't what we did. It's just what we had to do in a couple cases. So I could just imagine having a whole organization where that's your thing, and all it would take mentally and physically and preparation-wise to be that's part of what you do. Domestic violence situations could be the most volatile and dangerous. This is what these sisters coordinate with other groups in the community that he has attacked. But now you can kind of see psychologically what's going on in his mind, what's likely going on in his mind, on why he would find fault in women or individuals or organizations that would rescue. And you're probably getting dewy. In other words, he's saying he's undermining what it means for what they're doing and what it means to those who are victims of people like him.
Sex trafficking, missing person, and domestic violence. Let's stop there for a minute. It says they are a network for Black communities specializing, listen to it, specializing in sex trafficking, missing persons, and domestic violence. So one of the things that we need to ask, that if this is a legitimate organization, how many sex traffics persons have you brought home, have you rescued, have you what you do? I mean, what's going on? I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm saying that if you're promoting yourself to be specialized in sex trafficking, what does that mean? Have you brought somebody from being sex trafficked? I mean, what is it? You know what I mean? I think that should be
Spoiler alert. Yes, they have. Wait for it.
a show. Come on, Morse World TV, and tell us about it. How many missing persons?
You see that right there? See, now sometime within the show, he said that he did invite one of the sisters on the show and she declined. So now he's saying basically you got to come on and show him. Because he's approaching this as if this is all just a lie. Because to him, two things are going on. One, he can't believe that people do anything other than just conjecture on YouTube and disrespecting and undermining and attacking organizations. He can't believe that. He can't believe it because he couldn't put himself in a situation where he would be this productive or selfless or sacrifice to really put in that work. He can't conceive that. Second of all, what's going on is the fact that by default, the type of people they're rescuing these women and children from are people like him. People like him. So he has to undermine it. He has to belittle it. Because as this truth comes out about him, people will recognize that he's the type of piece of shit he's the type of piece of shit that women and children have to get rescued from. Like maybe only if his ex and children were rescued from him. That's a whole different case though. Well, that's a whole different subject.
Have you brought home? You specialize in it. I mean, put it on your website. And when I trolled all around the internet, I haven't found anybody that you say, well, we brought in Jane Doe or Jackie.
So in other words, since he hasn't seen it, you know what I'm saying? He's the same one that says he intervenes in gang violence and he does all these wonderful things in the community that we have never seen. We should just believe him. But they have a whole website just to lie to people. They're networked with other organizations whom I know, whom are also rescue oriented. But he's approaching this not like he believes them, but like they must just be totally lying here. So he's undermining, he's devaluing, disrupting, delegitimizing. This is all language within the counterintelligence program files of 1967 by J. Edgar Hoover, by the way. He's operating in that capacity, literally, right before your eyes.
No, or whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? What missing persons that you, and like domestic violence, what do? See a sister get beat up and call the police? I mean, what do? Do you step in? Do you break it up? What do you do? If you claim to be a service crisis response network for the black community, quote unquote, then what do? What do you do? I mean, come on, you can't sell out people this if you can't explain it. I mean, you can't sell out people this. This is serious business.
I mean, like he's a narcissist to the fullest. I mean, just to imply that because he's not aware that it can't be real, as if he's aware of everything, or if everybody has to run things through him and get his approval. That's pure narcissist right there.
Business here. If you are rescuing sisters that have been sex trafficked, this is serious business. This is not an internet talk. This is not a social media fiasco. This is serious business. It says, Sister of the Underground is a black woman-led organization that joined forces combat underground human trafficking, domestic violence, gang retaliation. They stepping into gangland. Y'all remember, hold up now, wait a minute. Y'all remember Desert Eagle said, listen, we ain't getting inside of that stuff with the gangs because it's gang politics. Well, these sisters here, they step in between gang retaliation. That's what they say. Malik wrote that. Did y'all hear that? Do y'all remember the show? Man, am I too loud? Am I yelling? I'm getting excited. Let me see. I'm getting excited. Do y'all remember the show? All these gang areas and be like, listen, the same thing y'all do with the European. Take your bullhorn right there where what's his name? Young Thug number was at. Take your bullhorn right over there. Hey, listen. No, you don't stop killing, no peace. I can't say no justice, no peace. If you don't stop killing or no peace. Stop killing or no peace. Man, they'll run you up. That's right. Stop killing, no peace. Stop selling crack or no peace. Stop selling heroin or no peace. Go do that over there. Go do that. I mean, the brother told me that living the life. I actually try to persuade that living the life. I'm just a podcaster. He told me, man, we can't do that. We don't do that. I'm paraphrasing. He said that's gang politics. What? I said,
I mean, see, he has to undermine it and make coonery and buffoonery out of it. Because remember, his son had to cut his ankle bracelet off to get away from him because his dad was abusing him. Remember, one of his exes said that he threatened if they can't be together, if she beats with someone else, came through the home and windows because she wouldn't let him in. So he's the very type of person who women need to be rescued from. So of course he's going to undermine it. Of course he's going to belittle these women. This is what he does. So to him, this is a joke. To him, those sisters aren't something to applaud. He sees them as adversaries because he wants to victimize and they want to remove victims from predators. He wants to take away his thing. So of course he's going to minimize it. Of course he's going to make light of it.
Some say, why don't you do it? In fact, I do. Thank you, Moo Moo. In fact, I do. In fact, I do. But I don't.
Now he's claiming that he does it too. Just no receipts, of course. Just believe him. No receipts. He does it too. Apparently. Picture that. He does it. Now, of course, you're supposed to believe him. You're not supposed to believe this. You're supposed to believe him. Not people who actually have receipts. Not people who are also who are clicked in with other organizations who do similar work, whom could be vouched for. No, believe him because he does it too. Listen to him.
Blow bullhorns in people's ear. I actually talk to people that live in the life. I actually try to persuade people to get out the life. I actually go right in the midst of it every single day. But I'm not the one to be sitting over here with a horn. I'm not going to do it to the police. I'm not going to do it to my people. You hear what I say? That's corny and crazy. Now, if you want to change something, you sit down like a man and you make demands, and if the demands are not met, then you take it from there. That's how we do it where I'm from.
That's bullshit. Right now you do it anywhere. That's not even part of the that's not even. Listen, man. This is a motherfucking, excuse the language, motherfucking lion ass con artist snake. To even apply that he's actually out there putting in some work, but we've never seen it. As if he wouldn't put anything he's doing on YouTube. Of course he would. Now you're not supposed to believe sisters who really have an actual network of things getting done and receipts. Like I said, I'll show you in a minute. They're for real. He's undermining them. And then when someone asks him why don't he do it, he does do it. He just doesn't do it with a bullhorn, so it's different. We just don't know he does it, but he really does it.
You must be new to the channel, Moo Moo. Moo Moo say, where's the proof? Are you new to the channel, Moo Moo? I ain't got time to go to that. Go back on. Listen, you must be new to the channel. I ain't got time to play with you.
That was pretty slick, though. That was pretty slithery.
But listen.
That was good.
The way that
we can go through his channel. Listen,
I
already went through his channel. His channel was only disrespecting organizations who do these type of things. Because in essence, sooner or later, they'll probably have to pull his children out of his house, out of his household. Sooner or later, his woman might decide that she needs the services of a Sisters of an Underground type of organization. Wouldn't that be something?
They make demands, and when the demand is not met, empowering those impacted by crime to move from crisis to resiliency. Now, she said across the globe. Across the globe. Did y'all hear this? Now, listen, we hang on to every word here at the Moorish Science Temple of America and the Moorish World TV. Is that true? Do anybody know? Anybody in here? Dude, she has a master's in psychology.
So he can't even conceive the fact that maybe a woman would have a master's of psychology and decide to dedicate herself, her resources, her knowledge, her skills, her talents, her passion into something on a grassroots level for the community. See, he can't picture that. He definitely can't picture someone having a master's degree when he got his GED in prison. But like I said, if you tapped into the communities, you're going to see all kinds of PhDs and master's degrees and bachelor's degrees and people who are doing incredible work that you wouldn't know even if you lived in that community unless you were tapped into that particular web of or network of individuals and organizations. See, if you do social work in your community, you're going to be aware of all types of different resources because you need those type of resources to offer wraparound service to the people that you're working with. Because not one organization could do everything. So they have to know other organizations to be able to send people to do referrals, as we call it. So he's oblivious to this type of thing. Because his past is robbing pizza stores, stealing copper, beating women and children, and this right here. See, this is what he's familiar with. And this is what he's dedicated his life to. So there's an internal conflict with him when he sees organizations that are putting an end to people like him. And that's really what it boils down to.
A master's. Is that a doctor? What's that? Oh, a master is below a doctor? I don't know.
He doesn't even know what the fuck a master's is. He just knows that she can't have one in his mind. He don't even, I don't know what it is. I don't know. I got a GED from prison. I don't know what the fuck it is. I just can't believe that she could have one. This is that straight up cornball nigga shit. Because he's a fucking idiot. He can't believe that all niggas ain't idiots, apparently. Because all he does is destruction in his community, to his family. He can't believe that people would actually dedicate themselves to doing something productive. And anyone who does, he finds a way to attack. But no matter how hard he attacks them, think about all the things that he has said about these sisters so far, or anyone else. Are any of them egregious as what you see in front of your screen right now? Are any of them egregious as his true black and white record? He's never accused anyone for anything as terrible as we can see proof and receipts of him doing. Think about that. And this wasn't 10, 15, 20 years ago. This was within the last 10 years. This was 8 years ago when he was still 40 plus. This ain't like, oh yeah, I grew up rough and I was just a little child. I didn't know better. I've changed since then. No, this is him just a few years ago. And you can see the same characteristics coming out of him now because he resents the fact that a black woman could be educated and powerful enough. See, because he's used to victimizing women. So to him, seeing women that are empowered enough to save themselves and others probably infuriates him. Because he knows that he couldn't just beat up on women like this. Sisters like this would not be having it. That's what makes him so pissed off.
What is that? She has a master's in psychology. Is that true? Do anybody know? Anybody in here? Everybody was, where's Amun at? Amun, do she have a master's in psychology?
Questioning her credentials. No reason to believe she doesn't. No reason to believe that that's just made up. But he's going to question it because he wants other people to question it. Because if she's not legitimate and what they do isn't really what they do, then now we could focus on them and call them frauds rather than remembering that this is him. Remember, he's upset because what they do is rescue women and children from people like him. And remember, this is an actual court document. See, these are actual receipts. This isn't just somebody just saying, I think, or it just doesn't make sense. He can't really have a whoop-de-whoop. No, this is like, boom, this guy right here, registered right here, signed it right here. So for him to see sisters that are about it like that means that people like him can't operate in the low level of debauchery that he does with immunity, because he knows that perhaps there are people out there in the community. See, he didn't know it was that close. He thought it would just have to be the police or something. He didn't know there's actual organizations with military trained individuals who will come see Negroes like him. That's really what it is.
Amun, where you at? Amun, scared to come on Morris World TV because they might say something that make me question their authenticity. And send my love to the family and my in, and I try to do the most of my uplifting work. Park Heights is one of the most deadliest communities in Baltimore. I love Park Heights, but it's a community that need work. A lot of communities in Baltimore need work, but that's one of the main communities that that's always making the news. And so hopefully within the next 6 months, I'll be able to help and make some improvements in the Park Heights community with the Morris Science Temple of America Unity Temple and Morris World TV and all hands.
This guy's got to be fucking joking. This dude is acting like he's really out there putting in that work, and his YouTube channel is going to change Baltimore. He's going to build a temple, and niggas is just going to stop shooting and selling drugs. That's how simple it is. That's how simple it is, y'all. We got churches in every community across the country. But his Morris Science Temple is going to change the game. It don't take real interaction. It doesn't take real resources, giving other options. Maybe drug intervention, prevention, counseling, other wraparound services, mental health. It doesn't take none of that. It doesn't take giving them alternatives, getting them into training programs, nothing like that. No, all you got to do is build a Morris Science Temple and go tell them to clean it up. It takes a network of different organizations just to break through to one person. Just one person. This shit ain't no joke. It ain't no cakewalk. It ain't something that some part-time YouTuber could just go ahead, decide to go out there and do. He's acting like he's better than a sister with a master's degree and a whole network of people who literally rescue people from individuals like him. Yeah, we're gonna go back to that. Let's go.
Real talk, real talk. But with that being said, let's get back to it. So, utilize her master's in psychology to build a career offering counseling service to victims of violent crimes. Janelle Mason is the lead conductor and hold on. He don't even got new Black Panther Party. Y'all see what I'm talking about? And a pal.
Listen, this guy ain't talking about shit. See, look at the stuff they do right here. Right? Sisters of the Underground. Look at this kind of stuff they do. And surely they don't do it by themselves. They do it in collaboration with other organizations, because that's how all effective organizations have to operate. You outsource, you refer, because people specialize in different things, and it takes a plethora of people working together to really create change on a grassroots level. That's how it really works in the real world. If you tap in, you'll find out. If you've ever had to use some of these services, you know. If you've ever been a part of facilitating or providing some of these services, you know. These are the kind of things that they deal with. Stalking. Like, for instance, someone trying to break into someone's home because they won't let them in, climbing through windows, is that stalking? Threatening if they leave and be with someone else, is that stalking? Is that abuse? Domestic violence, child abuse, right here. See, these things that they advocate for are the exact kind of things type of crimes that he perpetrates. Sex trafficking. It makes sense. I see why you're attacking him now. I get it. And I'm gonna have to wind this up because I want to make sure this is loaded up so y'all can see this, soon. Plus, I got some things to do. But let me just go to their website. He already went through it, but he was just capping. But yeah, this is what these sisters do. Matter of fact, let me go to this instead. Let me do this one. This is really what I want to do. Hold up. Rat Roll TV. Let's get this shit out the way, man. So the question was asked, do they really put in that work? Do they really do that, right? I think this is the one right here. This is the proof. Here's one of the sisters that was found. Now imagine being a sister or a family member of a sister who was in a situation that was missing, that was found thanks to the efforts of Sisters of the Underground. Listen to this. Special thanks to you, Pansock. This is a post from Sisters of the Underground. Special thanks to you, Pansock, another group that, of course, Taharka Bey has attacked numerous times. FHGC, which is the Fred Hampton Gun Club, for answering the call of duty when assistance was asked with no hesitation. Every single time the call to action goes out, y'all show up and show out. Salute. So missing and endangered. This was Taji Baker, age 23. Last seen at the hair salon. Right there in Maryland. Look at this. Landon, Maryland. Maryland. So this dude's from Baltimore. They're from Maryland. They came all the way from Texas to Maryland and other states to rescue this sister. He's out there saying that he's doing all this great stuff in the community, but he couldn't get in the car and go to Landon to help with this operation or any other operation of this sort. Maybe that's another reason that he's upset. Like I said, there's things going on in every community. He ain't doing none of it. Not even his own community. There's other people doing more for his community than he's doing. But he's out there capping, talking shit, undermining, and disrespecting the game. He's disrespecting people who's really doing real things. And he wanted receipts. And this ain't the only one. Matter of fact, here's the irony of this. Because I knew of this rescue while it was going on. I didn't know who or where, nothing like that. But while he was doing his show, the same day he was doing that show, this particular mission was being planned and executed. The irony of that. People doing real work, y'all. And these are the people that really should be actually supported. People like Sisters of the Underground should actually be supported. Meanwhile, we have clowns that are disrespecting, undermining, can't even fathom the idea that they would have a master's degree, let alone do the type of work they do. But of course, the work they do just happens to be a conflict of interest to him. Why? Because of things like this. And this is just scratching the surface. This is when he was whooping on his son. This is when he was beating on his wife or his ex or whatever. This is whatever this is, whatever this came from. We just know at one point he was registered. We haven't been able to find everything. There's people looking for it. They'll surely find it. But, you know, if he is an agent, which I suspect he is, of course, by the way he operates, he is one, regardless, effectively, essentially he is. And, you know, this could have been redacted, retracted, expunged, hidden. But make no doubt, if you pull up this particular case, you will see that same exact thing. Because you know how? I know. Because he's done it. He's done it. He showed it and said he was going to explain it. He claims we just don't know what that really means. Altered. This is no cap. This is why he claims that he's going to sue and do all this suing to people. He can't sue. This is real. This is public record. This is public record. This is the case number. You can look it up. So during the time of this particular arrest, doesn't mean that this arrest was for this. Let me be clear. It means at the time of this arrest, which is in 2016, he was registered as a sex offender at that time. So just a short 6 years ago, he was on the registry. He might not be on it any longer, but at that time, he was on it. So of course he has a problem with sisters that are rescuing people from sex trafficking, missing persons, domestic violence when he's committing these type of acts. And look at this, sex trafficking, receive assistance. If you need assistance, bam, submit the request. That's how real it is. That means, I don't know what Taharka's wife's name, but whatever your name is, if you're being domestic violence, if you're being beat and you need some help, because 45.1% of black women and 40% of black men have experienced intimate partner physical violence. That means domestic violence. So if you're one of those people, you can actually request assistance right here. Taharka Bey's wife might need to know about this. And that's probably why he's going so hard against him, because he might lose his wife behind women like sisters from the underground, sisters of the underground. His wife might find out that she can get away. So maybe that's what his beef is. I'm sure in part it is. This is what they do. The U.S. Department of Justice reported that 62% of human trafficking suspects, including both children and adults, are African American. Additionally, African American children make up 52% of all juvenile prostitution arrests. In many instances, these children are not prostitutes, they are victims. It's starting to make sense now, ain't it? Why he would go against such an organization. It's because organizations like that. And make sure you text melanin to 702-608-8551. Text melanin to 702-608-8551 so you can get melanin alerts. So that's probably why he has a problem, because these type of sisters actually go against the very nature of beasts like Taharka Bey. Weirdo clown creeps, sex offenders / keyboard warriors / counterintelligence. So I'm gonna end it like this, y'all. Just one more again, because we know that he's going to duck the fight. Hold up.
Prince Najee, this will be the deal. I'll bring my squad. He'll bring his squad. We'll go into a room. We'll shut the door, and whoever walk out, walk out.
That sounds good to me.
That's the only deal I would do.
It's called catch a fade. Sound good to me.
Yeah, that's the only deal I would do. And I'm not going to do this with 150 people because I got work to do. But since Prince Najee, he will be the representative. So don't give me no more offers. He will be the representative.
That sounds good.
He bring his people. I bring my people. We go into a door. We shut the door. And whoever walk out, walk out. It don't have to be on social media. No social media, no cameras, no nothing. Whoever walk out, walk out.
Sound good.
Let me explain something to you. Prince Najee, this will be the deal. I'll bring my squad. He'll bring his squad. We'll go into a room. We'll shut the door, and whoever walk out, walk out.
That sounds good to me.
That's the only deal I would do.
It's called catch a fade. Sound good to me.
Yeah, that's the only deal I would do. And I'm not going to do this with 150 people because I got work to do. But since Prince Najee, he will be the representative. So don't give me no more offers. He will be the representative.
That sounds good.
He bring his people. I bring my people. We go into a door. We shut the door. And whoever walk out, walk out. It don't have to be on social media. No social media, no cameras, no nothing. Whoever walk out, walk out.
Sound good.
So there it is. We're going to see, y'all. We're going to see. He's going to be going live a little bit later. I gave this clown a little bit too much attention, too much of my time, but whatever, though. I think it was worth it. But you just seen him call out Prince Najee, saying that he would go ahead and give him the one-on-one in a closed room. We're gonna see, because I have a feeling he is going to duck this fight like he did every other fight. He's gonna duck it, which makes him a liar. He's gonna duck it because he's a keyboard warrior, because he's a pussy. He's gonna duck it and go back to disrespecting those. See, the reason why people want to fade him is because of the disrespect. It's because he's going out of his way to undermine real, legit individuals doing real things in the community, while he does nothing but act like a tough guy, running the YouTube channel, not contributing to nothing except for abuse to women, children in the community. That's probably why he feels some kind of way, because he knows who he is. And he knows that we are diametrically opposed to individuals like him, just like he is to individuals like us, who are really about progression, accountability, upliftment, repairing, liberating, bringing justice in our communities. That's it, y'all. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure you fill up the comment section, share it, all that good stuff. If you are going to go to his channel, bring him the smoke. Don't just go to watch. Bring him the smoke always. Surely you'll get blocked. You'll get your message deleted. But enough of you going hard in the paint. Some of you will get through, though. I'm out. Peace.